interface won't allow you to bridge tokens that haven't already been bridged. And so basically, at the beginning, you'll see DTFs within the Solana universe, within the Base universe, and within the Ethereum L1 universe. Over the course of time, cross-chain support is something that is very interesting to us, but concluded the right thing to do was to launch without that. Other questions?
Yeah, I have a quick question, but I think I know the answer to it. And it was, so we have this new, or the new idea of burning RSR. Is there a possibility that there's like a minting of new RSR?
No, that's a great question. No RSR can be minted by this system. And
or any system.
Or any system. Yeah, the RSR token is just fixed at its current supply, and nobody has the power to ever change that.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Cool.
I'd like to add a comment question about that. So this is similar to the ETH model of burning ETH for transaction fees effectively. So is it mandatory to have some portion of governor revenue go towards some form of RSR fee?
It is mandatory. So the reason why I didn't go into the full detail on the fees is that the ABC Labs team is still working through a couple details. So I don't want to say anything that ends up being not true, but it's absolutely the case that the governors of any given R token do not have the option to remove the platform fee. So if the governors are charging a fee, there will always be a portion of that fee going to the platform, i.e. RSR.
Okay, cool, thanks.
Yep. I guess while we're here, let's keep talking about questions, but I'm going to go ahead and publish this blog post. And Jake, then once that's published, you can publish the tweet, and maybe folks on this call can like and retweet to start getting the word out.
Evan, I'll also flag that there's a question in the chat about KOLs.
Cool.
Jake, it seems like your mic is busted.
Jake, I don't know. Yeah, it's like we just hear this like strange robotic loop of like me or someone saying some strange word over and over again. All right, blog post has been published. Just scrolling through to make sure that there's no obvious formatting issues. Yeah, Jake, I think you should maybe rejoin the call. Ham, why don't you go and then
It didn't fix it, Jake.
Thank you. Yeah, so my question, again, like Tom, I think I know the answer, but just around the governance tokens. So imagine we set up a DTF and we have Curve as a governance token for the DTF. like the fee that is distributed to the governors do you have to be staked? Like, does that curve token have to be staked on the DTF to receive the governance fee?
Yes.
Or does it benefit all curve holders?
You have to be vote locked technically. I would say vote locked rather than staked, since in the case of a yield DTF, when you stake your RSR, you really are putting the capital at stake. In this case, you would just be vote locking, where there's no risk of that governance token being seized because there's no over collateralization. But yes, it needs to be vote locked and participating in governance in order to receive that portion of revenue.
Sure. Okay. And this just came to me, but like, could you have like a STRSR as a governance token? So like if you delegate on, if you stake on DGen ETH, and then you could have like a DGen ETH ETF.
Yep.
That would work.
You can use any ERC20 token, and STRSR tokens are ERC20 compliant. I see Thomas nodding, so I'm not misspeaking here. So, yep, you can do that.
Right.
You
And
can
if
you could also technically use an NFT, but the NFT would have to be deposited in.
Sure. So how would it work with an NFT? Like, as long as you have a Bored Ape, for example, you just stake deposit your one Bored Ape, and then you are officially a governor.
If that was designated, yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
That's cool.
Is there any cooldown on having governance? Like, you should be staked for a few days before you can vote? Is
Yeah.
your vote like a static thing, or does it increase or decrease by time?
There's like a withdrawal delay for vote locked governance tokens. I think we've been imagining the default would be 2 weeks, but it's settable by governance, I believe. And I actually don't know, Thomas, do you know, like, if you're in that 2 week window, can you still participate in governance, or do you lose your governance rights as soon as you initiate a withdrawal?
If you're in the 2 week period, you cannot participate in governance. And if a governance proposal has passed and you vote lock, or rather, if a governance proposal is proposed and you vote lock after the vote lock period starts, you cannot participate. So you can't come in mid-vote.
Yeah. And then all governance is just 1-to-1 in terms of the voting weight. There isn't like magnified voting weight the longer you lock, like some vote escrow systems. So that's why I would say vote locking, not vote escrow, so as to not confuse people on that point.
So the second you stake, you have voting rights, correct?
Sorry, say that again.
For any future proposals, yes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. The second you vote lock, you have voting rights. Yeah. I'm gonna look at some of the questions in the chat. To achieve mass and rapid adoption, an institution would have to create its own DTF. Do you have a plan for this and serious discussions with some of them? Currently, no. So this is not an announcement of partnerships with any big institutions. We've just designed the incentives to allow for that. The reserve team is always having lots of interesting conversations, but there's no, I'm not here to say, that, Franklin Templeton is going to deploy a DTF next week or something like that. But it's something that we wanted to build for, and we think it makes sense to pursue that over time. What does the ABC team think about inviting KOLs or trusted crypto media outlets to create their own DTF on the testnet? It'd give them a first-hand experience with the feature, provide content for their outlet, and let them curate a DTF that aligns with their brand. Plus, their followers could track their judgment, essentially turning their DTF into both a crypto report card and a financial vehicle. I believe it could be a catalyst for more transparency within the media component of the industry. That's a cool idea. We've definitely talked about how it could make a lot of sense for, you know, at least like individual KOLs, if not potentially, you know, these index creating media outlets like CoinDesk to deploy DTFs on the mainnet. We hadn't thought about encouraging them to do that on the testnet. So that's an interesting idea. Considering this new incentive to govern index ETFs with any token, has the team already noticed increased interest from potential DTF creators compared to persuading potential yield DTF creators? Basically, has this new incentive already been validated from conversations, or is it still mostly theoretically better incentives? That's a great question. Looking to see if a relevant person is on this call. I don't think they are. I'm pretty sure the answer is yes. It has been validated. We've seen some more interest, but also we haven't been talking about this super widely. We wanted to, you know, announce this, talk about it like we are right now, put it out in a blog post before we circulate, you know, this new plan to a lot of different potential creators of DTFs. So I think we'll get more feedback in the coming, well, starting in January really, as a lot more of those conversations rev up.
So in the conversations we have had, just because I've been part of some of them, like people are very interested in that component of it. It's kind of like a light bulb moment. But to Nevin's point, still, you know, they're early conversations. So.
I believe my mic should be working now, and I just want to say I posted the tweet in the chat. Please go there, smash the like button, smash the retweet button, comment, send it to all your friends, post it in all your alpha chats. Someone said, new partnership with BlackRock. To be clear, this is not a partnership with BlackRock. We are aiming to become the decentralized version of BlackRock.
Although if Larry Fink did want to do a base.pump token that became the governance token of many of the DTFs, I think that would be okay. We would concede that partnership.
Yeah, Thomas, have you seen the tweet thread for this announcement?
I just saw the first one.
So yeah, so everyone on this call, help us explain to the broader community that this is absolutely setting the conditions for that to happen. It's not an announcement of that today, but we're intentionally hinting at that in this tweet to get people to understand where this could go. All right, any other questions? When will this recording be live? Momentarily. I'm recording this on Loom. I'm going to actually include it in the blog post itself. So you'll be able to find it linked in the blog post in a few minutes after it's done. And then we'll probably download the video and put it on Twitter. Sweet. All right. Thanks everyone for coming out, and we'll talk to you guys soon. See you on the internet.